Hey everybody, I hope that you can hear me today because my regular mic isn't working, so I'm going to talk a little bit louder. Today we're going to get into this colony here. Haven't checked them in a while. This is the one that's got the 4R bees magnet on the bottom board. When they came out of winter, my initial hive check showed that this colony was the most productive of all of my colonies that came through the winter time. They had the most brood, the most amount of food, and a higher population. Can we attribute it to the magnet? I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but, you know, it's there. So today our purpose though is to remove it and so I can return it back to the company to let me borrow it and give them a report on my findings. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring you guys along as we dig down to that and do some brief inspections of each box and see where our colony is at today. So stick around. All right, we're going to smoke our entrances, pop this quilting box, then I'm going to bring you guys closer and we're going to get inside this hive. A lot of propolis buildup. That's a good thing. This is a healthy looking colony from in my opinion, judging from the outside activity. Oh my gosh. I'm glad we looked in on this today. Oh boy. You guys got to see this. They're making honey. Since I'm only running 9 frames in this box, you can see they're fattening out the comb. And they're on definitely on this frame, this one. They're on all but the outside of this one, and it's because it's bare plastic. So let's go ahead and pop this box and see what we find underneath. We got some stuck frames. Gotta get those pressed down. Oh, that's a heavy box. And we're only in the first week overflow. Good grief. Okay. Oh, busted open some drone brood. That's okay, because it's a great time to just give a easy visual check. See if we see any mites crawling around. And I don't see a single one. Now, I have no doubt that they're in here. Mites are always in the colony. It's just a matter of how many. Sorry, drones. Boy, they love to stick drones in between boxes, don't they? So this is a deep box. We are not trying to verify a queen today. I already know that this colony is queen right based on their activity, but I do still need to get down to the bottom board and get that device out of the colony. So that's what we're going to do and see if we need to add any boxes, which I can already tell you right now we are. A little bit of smoke. A lot of brood in this box. I can look down and see the caps. I see open brood. Some of you that don't believe me are probably like, how do you know that without looking? Well, when you look at thousands of hives through the years, you learn what to look for, just like in anything, any trade. And if you did it too, you would learn it just as well. So, kind of, you can be skeptical about it or unbelieving, but anyone's capable of this stuff. Even you. One more stuck, 2 more. I hate it when frames stick. With all that rummaging around trying to get them unstuck, it really pisses the bees off. Okay. Now we got the least amount of brood and food in the bottom box. These bees are coming up, mostly going into this first box here, then they're working up into the deep, and then they're storing honey in this top super. So what we're going to do is go ahead and lift this box up just enough to get the magnet out. To do so, I'm going to remove the feeder from the back. Pop this box loose, because no doubt it is stuck. It's a very light box. Like I said, they don't have many resources in it. Here's the PureWave cell by 4R bees. This colony is doing very well. They are killing it. I'm going to switch things around. Since I know that they've got brood in this deep, And I like to maintain deeps as my brood chamber. On the bottom, I'm going to reposition things. So we're going to put our deep right here on the bottom board as easy as we can without squashing any bees. There we go. And now I've got all this buildup comb to deal with, and it's only an issue because I got to put another box on top of it. And I don't want to squash any of these girls, so I'm going to smoke them down as best I can without over smoking them. Get this stuff scraped off, set to the side. I can clean it out, and then I can collect it later, melt it down, sell it, whatever I want to do. Ants will clean up this drone brood, so it'll feed the ants. Circle of life stuff, right? And if there are any mites in these drone brood pupa that I don't see, larvae, they're not in there anymore. Again, just a little bit of smoke. Now their main brood box I'm going to put back on top so I can maintain the integrity and structure of their brood nest. Alright, so there it is. Now I'm going to put their primary honey super back on so they can finish that out. And then I'm going to take that box that was on the very bottom, very light, of resources and put it on top. This will be their next super to work into. So this is technically me adding a box, but in the order that you normally would during a flow. We just happened to utilize it from the bottom because they weren't really using it. Alright, so now they've got enough for that. I'm going to put their quilting box back on. Try to smoke them down a little. That quilting box, I didn't make it very good. I didn't create a recess on the bottom, so it's flat. So it'll squash bees on this buildup comb. And we don't want that, obviously. Okay, so as you guys can see, we did that in less than 7 minutes. Worked our way down to the bottom. Got our PureWave 4RBs cell out. Let me show you this a little bit closer. Now this was initially something that worked on people, so they found its benefits and decided that they would try it on bees. It's got some weight to it. There are, I believe, 12 neo something magnets inside, and because of their layout, they interact with one another to create a specific type of resonance or magnetic field. I did some research on it, but as you can tell, it's kind of escaped my mind a little bit. But in my opinion, seeing this in my hive, since I'm not a scientist, seeing the production of this compared to my colonies that did not have one of these, I gotta say that this does something. Of course, I always have a link to this below if you're interested. It's a little pricey, depending on what your pocketbook looks like, but worth it. If there was like a mini version of this, as far as my budget's concerned, I would definitely keep one in every hive all the time. It would be a perpetual tool, a passive tool that I could use. But we've got this. I can return it to the company. Thank you 4RBs for letting me use this. I believe that it makes a difference. In the meantime, we were able to restructure our colony without breaking up the brood nest. We still have a almost full honey super on top, and we just supered the top with another one for them to start filling. At the rate that this colony is going, they may yet fill a third honey super, knowing where we are in the flow and how much time we've got left for them to do it. So thank you guys for joining me today. Easy, simple inspection video. I'll see you in the next one. Hive Doctor out.